Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. How is everybody doing? Post Thanksgiving week. Good morning, Ginger. How you doing? It's good to see you guys. Welcome, welcome. I'm happy to be here, kicking off. We're getting ready for December. My God, how can this be? We're moving into the final week. 2023, final month, not the final week, the final month. I'm happy about it. I always love a clean slate. I'm always loving a new year. So we're in the final stretch. And a lot of projects, right? It's like finishing up a lot of projects. This is like, feels like the crunch of the end of the year. And it also feels to me, I don't know about you, but it feels to me like it's also the gearing up for a new year. And so for the leaders in the world, and also probably everybody else, it's what do I want my new year to look like? And so our mind is kind of coming to a pinnacle to where we're rounding out one year and we're kind of gearing up for what do we want this new year to look like? And so what's been coming to me and coming up for me is this notion that saying no to something, saying no to some things might be saying yes to other things. And um, when I was growing up, my grandfather would call me the Me Too girl. And Me Too then doesn't mean the same thing as Me Too, the Me Too movement today. So he called me the Me Too girl. And the reason that he called me the Me Too girl is because I always wanted to be included in everything, right? Everything that my sisters were doing, everything that anybody was doing. I wanted to be a part of it, even if it was like had dire consequences, even if it wasn't a good thing and they were involved in things they shouldn't have been involved in. I wanted to be a part of it. And I don't think that a lot has changed as an adult person walking around this world. If people are doing projects, I'm just like, oh, I want to be involved in that. And I always want my finger or my hands like involved in a bunch of different projects. And I think as I've gotten older, I still have that inclination to want to be involved in a bunch of different projects. But I also know that by being involved in a bunch of different projects, sometimes it dilutes the very important projects that I need to be focusing my attention on. So I don't know if that resonates with anybody here, but if we are involved in too many things, sometimes we don't give our best effort to the things that need the most attention. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about today is what are the things that need the most effort and the most attention, and not being caught up necessarily in the shiny new things that seem to reel us in, because I still have that thing. I still have that thing that I want to get reeled in by the shiny new things when the things that are sitting in front of me still need to be completed, still need a lot of attention. And um, after 33 plus years in business, there are still things that I have to focus really hard on in order to give my best effort, in order to get the results that I'm looking for. And there are downfalls for me, anyways. I'm not going to speak for anybody else here. There are downfalls for me if I don't have focused attention on specific things. And some of those downfalls are, I listed three of them out because they always come up for me when I spread myself too thin. And one of them is a feeling of like disappointment in myself if I'm not doing good enough, because I have maybe a lack of time to put my best effort in. And maybe I don't gather all the resources that I could be gathering if I gave myself the time and energy to, um, to really plan the amount of time that I need in order to get this thing lifted off the ground, whatever project that is. Another downfall of having too many plates in the air is that maybe my project is not thought out enough and I'm not including all the people that I could be including in order for everybody to feel the love and not everybody to feel like they are a part of the success. And I don't know about you, but I don't know. I am a super collaborative person. I don't like to do things on my own and have my own little projects. I like for a lot of people to be a part of the success of things. So if I'm doing things really quick, people feel left out, and I'm just kind of like a bulldozer. And so sometimes like I have to take a step back and say who all can be a part of this in order for it to have a really strong liftoff. Um, the third thing of having a lot of plates in the air and just kind of mowing through life is I give up a piece of myself and I give up a piece of my own mental health and my own peace of mind. And when I am taking on a lot of things at once, I'm the first person that gets pushed aside, and my own peace and my own well-being and my own self-care are the first things that go because I then have made all these commitments that then I have to step into. And so, whether it's my working out, whether it's my food prep, whether it's taking time with my family, whether it's taking time with my four leggeds, the things that like my gardening, my walking, the things that bring me peace, swimming, whatever it is, those things get pushed aside in my crazy efforts to get all these projects done. And so when that happens, I'm then not walking around really fulfilled. And so when there's too many plates in the air, then is that really the best? Is that me walking around at my best? So as we are kind of rounding out 2023 and looking forward into 2024, do we need to take more projects on? Or do we need to take a step back and look at what we have going on in our business? And do we need to do a deeper dive and actually shed some of the things that haven't served us that we've been doing? Because I think it's a habit to say, what new things do we need to do in this new year coming up? And it's not always a habit to say to ourselves, what things do we need to shed that haven't served us and let go of because we don't have a return on our investment or it just hasn't worked. So why do we keep doing it out of habit just because we've always done it? Why not let go of the things that feel weighted, that feel like they're weighing us down? And let's just free up some of that energy to do a deeper dive to the things that we know will serve us. So, um, quick story before I go into some of the things that I want to just challenge you to look at. This weekend, after Thanksgiving, I went over, did a quick trip to Palm Springs with a friend of mine who always comes over for Thanksgiving, and then he always goes out to Palm Springs after. So I joined him this weekend, and he was out there looking at property. We spent the whole weekend looking at property, and we found this really cool investment property, and I was so inspired by it. We talked about going in together on it and fixing it up and all this. And I was like, oh, shiny new project. I was like, this is just so cool. And for those of you that know me, know that I love a good real estate project. And we were talking about all the things we could do and all of this and that. And I was driving home yesterday and I was talking to my mom on the phone, and she said to me, like, is that really what you need? Like right now, with all of the projects you have going on, you need to like do another project like that because you don't have enough. And she never says stuff like that to me. She's always just like 100, like, you got this, sounds great. Miss, mom supporting daughter. And I got off the phone with her and I thought to myself, this is going to be a hard one to say no to because I was so inspired by it. It was so cool. Mid-century modern is a cool one. And I had to say to myself that sometimes saying no to some things is saying yes to other things. And so, yeah, that was like something I had to say no to. It was a project that I had to say no to say yes to the things that were calling me, which was the projects that I already have at hand, because the last thing I need is another big shiny project. So here I am sharing with you yet again my life story of, you know, the things for me that need attention, and maybe they are a calling for you. That yes, there are always going to be things in front of us that are asking, is this the direction that I go? Do I move into this big shiny thing, or do I go and do a deeper dive into the things that I know will be the fruits of my labor? And where is the low hanging fruit for me, and what projects need my attention right now that will bring me a big bang for my buck in 2024? And what are the things that I've been doing, like I had said, that I can shed in this upcoming year, that I've been doing out of habit, that is not serving me at all? So some of the things that I came up with that I know that I'm going to be really looking at in my business, and I came up with 5 things, and you may have some other things, and I'd love for you to throw them into the comments. One of them is recruitment, growing your team. So, what are you going to do about recruitment this year for your company, right? And a couple things that I want to throw out there about recruiting new staff, because as I work with owners, and I have over the past, really since the pandemic, since 2021, recruitment has been such a hot topic. And I want you to take a look at a couple of things. What is your website looking like? So if people are looking around for a place to work, they get an earful of, they hear about your business and they go to your website. How easy is it for them to navigate? What does it look like on your careers page? How easy is it for them to click around and learn about your business and click through to even do um, a Zoom meeting for you right there? How can they get a hold of you? Do they need to do it the old school way, to find a way to fill out an application, or can they do it virtually, everything really quickly? If you don't have that going on right now, I want you to get in touch with me and let's talk about it. You know that I do those complimentary discovery calls. So if you don't have a way that people can get in touch with you quickly and you are needing to recruit people, make it easy for yourself. So DM me and let's talk about that. I do complimentary discovery calls, and let's see if this is something that I can do to support you. So recruitment, growing your team. How are you going to do that in 2024? Even if you're saying to yourself, I don't need to hire anybody right now, you always need to be looking at recruiting and hiring people. This isn't about right this second, I don't need a person. You always need people. So you always need to have people in the queue. This isn't about right this second. This is about the future of your company and constantly growing. 2, retaining your existing team. What are you doing right now to retain your existing team? What do you have in place to elevate and grow what you have? So this isn't about stagnation. This is not about complacency. If you're thinking, well, I have a great team now, well, probably 60% of your team right now are saying, like, what's my future plan? And if there's not strong leadership, a strong growth plan in place that they are physically, emotionally into, that they are financially thinking, this is my growth place, then that is the shiny object that we should be focusing on right here, right now, is how am I engaged with each one of my team, especially my senior team, my mid team, engaged in with them, what is their game plan for 2024? Increase sales. Where do you need to be for your, not your break even, but your profitable break even? Where are you right now in planning first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter? What is it each quarter that you're going to be planning for your profitable break even? So what do you need to be doing in sales to hit your break even, pay all your bills, and pay yourself, whether you do services or not? Not what do you need to do and how many services do you need to do to break even for your company? No, take yourself out of the equation. What does your company need to be doing in order to have its break even without you? And then what do you need to be doing for a profitable break even, you guys? All right. So increased sales. If you don't know and you just jumped on, please get in touch with me. I do complimentary discovery calls. Let's talk about it. I may be your person for coaching. I may not be, but I have a lot of contacts and I can refer you. That was number 3. So we have recruitment. How are you growing your team? Retaining your team. How are you retaining your team? 3, increased sales. 4, a more inspired environment. Are you bringing fun into your space? Is your space inspired? Does it feel inspired? I don't know. Ask your team. Is it an inspired place to work? I can't answer that for you. You might think it is because it's your place. I mean, I can't tell you that, but your team will be able to tell you that. Do an anonymous survey. Go to SurveyMonkey and survey your team. You should be surveying your team 4 times a year with different surveys, whether it's about education, what education they want, whether the management is supportive enough for them, whether their environment is a fun environment, what do they want to see different. Make an anonymous survey for them. And it should be at a team meeting where they can do it on their phone. They send the link. Make sure it's no longer than a minute-long survey. Maybe there's 5 questions. Have them do it on their phone right then and there. They don't take it home. It's not something they do in a back room where they're collaborating with each other. Boom, boom, boom. 5 questions, anonymous. You get your answers, and there you have it. So don't make up whether it's a good environment or a bad environment. It's scary sometimes as an owner to send a survey out and then you're just like, I don't know if I want the answers, you know, but you do want the answers because I'll tell you what you don't want to have happen. You don't want some walkout and then to be like surprised, like, I don't know why this happened. You want to know, even though sometimes it feels scary. Okay. I'd rather feel scared to open up the survey and figure out what I can do to be better. What we've done before is we've done the surveys and then, um, yes, every time I do a survey, I'm freaked out to look at the answers. So I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be like, whoa, I'm just like, yeah, they're all great. They're not all great. I get some like effed up responses and I'm just like, whoa, what? But I get to take those responses back and I'm not mad at them. I'm grateful for them. And I get to say, look, here are the responses. It's okay. It doesn't matter who gave me that response. How can we make it better? And then we get to collaborate with the team on how to make it better. It's not up to me to come up with the ways to make it better. It's up to me to bring the topic up so we can all make it better. Because if someone has a beef with something about the environment, they all have ideas on how to make it better. So people support what they help to create. My buddy Win Claybaugh taught me that 30 years ago. People support what they help to create. So it's up to us to bring it up. It doesn't have to be taboo. All right. So do you have an inspired workspace? All right. So that's number 4. And then number 5 is flexibility. So do your team feel that they have autonomy and they're in charge? Okay. So we've been hearing a lot about this, guys. Like, there are these like Insta coaches out there because they're everywhere now. People wake up in the morning and decide they're going to be a business coach. And then they just say, your team needs to have autonomy and show up and do whatever they want in your business. I don't believe in that. If you have an employment-based business, this is your company. This is your business. You get to create the kind of business that you want, and people need to be able to work inside the guidelines of your company. But I do believe that there has to be flexibility and autonomy inside the guidelines. So this is just my belief. It doesn't mean that it's true. It just means that it's just my belief. My belief doesn't mean that it's true for everybody. It just means this is just how I feel about it. Does your team feel they have autonomy and that they're in charge of their schedule? I think that they need to be in charge of their schedule. They need to be in charge of their goals. Okay, they have to be in charge of their goals It's not for me to tell them what their goals are. It's for them to say to me, these are what my goals are. This is where I want to be in my life. And based on where I want to be in my life, this is what I would like to do at work to support my life goals. So then as a leader, it's my job then to help you get there, right? That's then the goal is that I help you get there. It's not for me to say, here's your retail goal, here's your service goal, here's your pre-book goal, here's your this goal. No, it's for me to say, here are the tools available in the company based on this goal that you have. These are the streams of revenue available to you. Let's talk about then, based on these streams of revenue, how you're going to hit your life goals based on what's available at work. That to me is strong leadership, so that then we can then say, inside you working here, let's create the schedule. And once you create the schedule, I'm counting on you then, if you're going to work 9 to 2, 9 to 3, 9 to 12, 9 to 5, whatever that's going to be, yes, that's your schedule. And that's when I'm counting on you to work. And if you show up at 9:15, yes, you're late. It doesn't mean you have autonomy and you can just show up whenever you want and there's no accountability. No, that's not how it works, because we have a business to run. So inside the guidelines, we will work together to create your level of flexibility, the schedule that works for you. So that's how we work together with autonomy and flexibility and strong leadership, right? Not just like balls to the wall, do whatever you want. We have to work together to create a great business model. A couple questions coming up. Renee, good morning. What do you use to create your surveys? We use SurveyMonkey, super easy. There is, I think we have the paid one. I think it's $50 a month. I'm not sure, because we do surveys a lot with our team. And we survey them. I know we have like our kickoff meeting coming up for our annual kickoff meeting, and we will do probably 4 different surveys with the team at our kickoff meeting. We'll do one about what kind of education they want coming up for the upcoming year. And when I say what kind of education, I think there's 4 questions. So we do a QR code, and on our PowerPoint, there'll be a big QR code. They'll point the QR code at it, and there'll be 4 questions like what kind of hair cutting, what kind of styling, what kind of color education, and I don't know, whatever. There might be one other question, frequency or something like that. Then there might be one on how they feel leadership is supporting them, something about that. How often they want to meet to work with their goals, something like that. So we have like maybe 4 short surveys, and so they'll all, they all have a QR code. They'll point their phones at it. They'll all sit there and take them. So all the surveys roll in, and then the leadership team will be able to, look those surveys over, and then, make the proper path forward based on the majority of the information that comes forth. So I hope that Renee, I hope that answers your question. But we use SurveyMonkey. I'm sure that there's other platforms out there that that would be able to support that for you too. Hi, Tracy. It's good to see you this morning. So, all right, guys. So we went through recruitment, the things that I'm going to be looking at this year and going to be planning as we move into the new year. Our recruitment, this is what we look at. What things do we want to be shedding? What programs were we working on in 23 that maybe didn't have a big ROI, that didn't serve us that well, that we spent time and energy on, that we either need to let go of, that we need to tweak because it just didn't have a big bang for its buck, right? And then what do we need to focus more on? We're going to be looking at recruitment. We're going to be looking at doing a deeper dive to retain our team. Last year, I know we talked about this. We looked at different levels in our company. We looked at our newer level. We broke them down in 3 different levels. Our newer level, 2 years and under, our mid-level, our 2 to 5 year people, and then our senior level, 5 year and up. And we started a coaching club for our senior level team. We're going to do now a coaching club for our mid-level team, and we'll have a coaching club again for our senior team. So we'll be doing group coaching. So that was amazing. The senior level group coaching was phenomenal. In fact, we took them out to dinner to celebrate them a couple of weeks ago because they did so amazing in their group coaching. The goals that they hit, they are requesting that it start in January this year because they want to do, it's like a mastermind group. They want to do it again this year. So for how do we go deeper with our teams, we have to get creative. It doesn't mean that we have to have all these one-on-one meetings. Do group coaching sessions, right? So recruitment, retaining your team, finding different ways to go deeper. We're working on these group coaching mastermind kind of things. Increased sales, more inspired environment, more flexibility. So again, I started off this Mindset Monday talking about sometimes saying no to some things means saying yes to other things. And saying no to the big shiny objects or the big projects sometimes means saying yes to things we've been neglecting, or we haven't been doing a deep dive, or maybe we have too many plates in the air, or maybe we haven't focused on our own mental wellness or self-care. And all of those things are important because if we are not taking care of ourselves as leaders, if we're not taking care of ourselves just as humans walking around, then all these things that I just talked about, we can't get there. We don't have the capacity to get there. So, you know, I want you guys to take care of yourselves first. So, what do you need to say no to in order to say yes to these things? Yeah. To be able to be productive, to feel inspired, to be present to these projects. So, um, yeah, I have to say no to things to be present, to be here with you guys. So I feel grateful that you guys are showing up, that you're here. I want you to drop me a comment and let me know, what are you going to say no to? What are you going to let go of in order to be able to do a deep dive on some things that maybe you've been neglecting that you know are important for you? So I look forward to seeing you next week. If there's anything that you want me to cover next week as we start to round out 2023 and move into 2024, please let me know. But for today, I thank you so much for showing up, and I hope you have a blessed week. See you on the flip side. Bye, guys.